Welcome to the Strategy with Jason podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know to stay in the know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It is Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me on another episode of The Drive, Las Vegas Special Edition. Today, I have a special guest with me. I have the one, the only, the oh-so-famous Mr. Owen Moon. What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good, man.
This thing is sweet.
We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk all things fixed ops.
Absolutely.
So I love that. I don't get to talk enough about it, I got to be honest with you, so I've been looking forward to this one all afternoon.
Oh, good.
But,
yeah, it's all I do, so it's you know.
That's all you do, so that's good. That's what we're going to jam about.
For sure.
But hey, for everybody out there watching and listening, I love starting off all these podcasts with a little origin story, because I'm always super fascinated in how people get started in the business. So what is the origin story of Owen Moon?
Oh, man, you know, it's like tale of two careers. Started right out of college, ended up at an agency that was automotive only.
Okay.
Didn't know anything. But what we had was, we had an infomercial that we were able to syndicate across the country. And we actually went around, my first 2 years in the business was actually going around and helping set up subprime departments. Okay. So relatively new, nobody was doing it. And so we would not only do the advertising, you know, when you see those Ron Popeil infomercials back in the day at 3 o'clock in the morning, that was us. We were doing subprime, get you financing. But what the dealerships needed was somebody to help them with the banks, help them with the inventory, you know, kind of the whole thing. So that was what my job was. I'd go around and I would kind of fake it till I made it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I'd go into these stores and help them set up our little piece of it. But looking back at it, now that I've been in this business over 20 years and kind of one of the OGs out there, I see all these young, you know, digital people out there. But it was a great learning time, because I got to, instead of going to a radio station or a TV station coming out of college, being a marketing guy, I got right into the trenches and learned the whole inside of the dealership world.
That's cool.
Which I couldn't have asked for a better, you know, a better learning experience in that time that I spent doing that. So
you get in the trenches, man.
Oh,
I mean, that's what it's all about. So I mean, look, fix ops marketing. I think when people think of fix op marketing, they're not 100% sure exactly, you know, what do they ultimately think, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, when you guys say fix ops marketing, like what's kind of the first thing that comes to your mind?
Yeah, you know, when we talk about like marketing your service department online, we really focus on all profit centers, right? Because it's more than just your service side of the business. You know, it's also parts, it's tires, it's accessories, it's collision. And so what we've really tried to do is create an infrastructure that allows the dealership to, you know, kind of merchandise those departments on their website. You know, for years, all we've ever seen is sales, variable, vehicles, and, you know, the service side of the business just wasn't getting any attention. So, you know, that's
Which is crazy, because it's the side of the business that can absorb all expenses inside of a dealership.
Well, and here's why. Most of the marketing that you see from is, you know, database marketing. It's getting into retentions type scenarios. And so that's a whole different customer. That's a whole different strategy. And those strategies are still very effective. You know, they work. They've gone away from maybe as much direct mail that we used to do, but now more email marketing and different touch points and things like that. But when you start talking about the conquest customer, that customer that's online, they might not know about the dealership. They're you know, getting hit by the independents. It's a whole different thing. So, you know, we just help create a really, really well thought out infrastructure that gives customers that same sort of online funnel that we've seen be so effective on the sales side. So,
well, you know what I find interesting, and I love the fact that you brought up the transition between kind of letters then over to email. What I kind of find annoying sometimes is that all we did was take the content we stuck in letters and then just shoved it into an email. That was it. And there's a lot more opportunity there, right? I mean, you think about it, like my email, I really got 200 unread emails sitting in this box. You know, and just to think that I'm just going to take what I used to do in letters and I'm going to shove it into an email and think that's good enough. It just really isn't.
Email, you almost have to reverse it, right? I tell my sales team all the time, you know, it's always was sort of an idea that, you build it, right? Whether
Yeah.
you're in a pitch or a sales presentation or just anything, you sort of give the meat and potatoes, or like you get to this big close where your email's the opposite. You got to give the
Yeah.
big close at the beginning.
100%.
Because nobody reads emails. It's like by the time you
Oh.
get halfway done, you've lost their attention,
Well,
and they're moving on.
We
you know?
triage it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I will triage it. I will probably go through 2 rounds of triage before I actually start opening stuff, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, so
True.
it's like, I love the subject lines that I typically see, right? ABC Motors service specials of blank
this month.
I'm like, really? I mean, nothing else? So let's talk a little bit about email strategies,
Yeah.
right? So what would you say are some good email strategies for the fixed ops department?
Well, one of the things that we've done, you know, with our solution, and our solution is more of an online solution, obviously,
Yeah.
focusing on the website and that type of thing. But we've turned this specials page that's usually very vanilla. Maybe there's a couple, you know, things that a service manager will pick out and say, hey, I want to throw this on there. We've scratched that. We said, look, you've got to make it more of a menu style. You've got to make it,
Yeah.
you know, let's put all your popular services. Let's get some of those late ownership services. And so what we tell dealers is when they want to do email marketing, kind of use that same logic, right? You know, focus on some of the ones that you want to focus on, but then let's drive them into a better experience.
Yeah, it's just the breadcrumb.
Yeah, it's
Right?
just getting them into an area. So when we build out content, right? So, you know, obviously SEO, there's a certain way to do it.
Of course.
There's a certain way not to do it. Everybody wants to automate everything.
We all want to hit that preferable easy button.
Yeah, you got, you know, SEO and building content just takes work. And so what we do is we build a transmission page, for example. And then if we put a transmission offer in an email, make sure that that person, when they click that offer, actually goes to that transmission page. Don't go to the home page. Don't go to schedule service. Let's take them down that funnel and let's give them the information so when they do finally make that decision, they're going, you know what, I feel very comfortable with making this appointment today.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It's nuts.
Well, and you know what I think is also kind of funny is we use this kind of mass approach, right?
Yep.
I hate the term mass email.
Yeah.
You know, because we have too much data on our customers to take a mass approach
Just
to
a
communicating to them.
spray and pray kind of scenario.
Yeah, 100%, right? I mean, like, you know, I encourage like our service clients to, you know, start bucketing out their customers.
Yeah.
You know, look, for the customer that comes in and service with you all the time, why would you hit them up and send them the exact same offer that you're going to send to someone that you haven't seen in 12 months? Like, it makes no sense.
Well,
right?
and that's where that service specials page kind of has been, you know, misleading for not only vendors, but even for customers, right?
Yeah.
I always tell my dealerships that I work with, and it's kind of our, I guess you could say, best practices that we use is you don't have to use the specials page as a place to discount.
Yeah.
Be competitive and then win with information, right? I always say couponing's
Win with
dead.
information,
When I think of coupons, right, I think of some lady sitting at the kitchen table. She's clipping coupons. Yeah, I mean, a couponing strategy on your website, I mean, that's old school. What we want to do is we want to build the momentum, right? We want to get them into the information and then let them go a little deeper into that same offer, that same service, and then bring them to the path and to the appointment. And that's either scheduling online or maybe click to calling, you know, from their mobile device to a service or an appointment coordinator. You do that enough times to those conquest customers, you're doing great. Now you've got someone that hasn't been in your store for 2 years, lose money on them. Send them
Get
something.
aggressive, right?
Get aggressive, get them in, give them that exposure back to your service department.
Yeah, it's like we miss you. We want you back, and you know what? We're willing to put our money where our mouth is, so that you can come back and re-experience.
Yeah,
us.
imagine you not going to a dealership for 2 years. You get something in your email. It's for a $29.95 oil change. You then go to the website and you see the same $29.95 oil change. Are you special at that point?
Not
exactly.
At all. Not
There's
at all.
nothing there. So I think that's one thing that vendors like. And look, I've been doing this a long time, so you know I kind of look at things, you know, just from a vendor standpoint. They want to do what you talk about. They want to bucket everything together and make it easy. And I think that's where we've really taken the fixed ops side of the business, the service side of the business, and we've opened the hood and we get very granular on a lot of things that we do. So when customers come and work with us, right away they're like, wait a minute, you integrate with this partner, you talk with these guys, you know, you have different analytics that show kind of the whole picture, not just, oh, this is how many times somebody clicked on this coupon or clicked the print button.
Exactly.
70% of consumers are mobile, and yet somebody says you click the print button 700 times. Come on, you know what I mean?
What is that?
Doesn't work.
I gotta be honest with you. Do you even own a printer?
No.
I don't own a printer.
No, not at my home, not my home office.
Like not at home, right?
No.
Here we are sending out campaigns that are like, or on the website, print. I'm like, I don't even own a printer. Someone recently sent me a document I had to fill out, and I was like, I had to go buy a printer.
Well, I'm like, can you make this a DocuSign so I can just e-sign it? Yeah. Like I bought a house on DocuSign, but yet we're trying to print coupons. It's like, doesn't make sense.
Well, you touched on something that I thought was kind of cool is the content of the site, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great opportunity for conquesting and educating people and bringing them into your funnel. But then also it's amazing also for retention. Because if I got a question and if you've already answered it on your website, awesome, right? Like I have this dealer, really cool guys. They do a lot of video content. And they do a lot of video content in the service department, right? Well, one of their very, very first videos, 6 or 7 years ago. Horrible video. The sound's bad, the camera's shaking up.
But at least
it was
at least they did it, right?
But they did it, and the video is about how to replace the wiper blades on a Jeep Wrangler. Which if you ever owned a Jeep Wrangler and had to do that, there's like two little snaps, and if you don't press both of them down, you'll break the other one, and you have to go. You literally got to start all over again, right? Because it's one piece. Still today, that video gets over 15,000 views a month.
Because people want to know.
Because they want to know, and nobody else has put an updated video out. And we've even talked about updating. I'm like, why? It works.
Well, and then so what we've kind of done too, and this kind of ties right into it, we've actually taken that content. So let's say we did windshield wiper video, content. We then do an explainer video as well.
Yeah.
That's explainer video, because a lot of people like to use video to get their information, not necessarily reading, right?
Oh,
can we get any lazier?
Well, I'm always looking for the YouTube one, right?
Yeah.
Like bought something from IKEA. I don't even want to look through the pictures on that thing. I just want to go watch a video on how to put the stupid thing together. That's it. But what I find? I actually have some service managers that have actually argued with me in the past, and they don't want to do these videos.
No.
Because if the customer's going to do it, then I don't pick up the labor hours.
True.
But
put them on your website. It's a great place.
Well, it's a great place to put on your website, but in reality, it's like sometimes I'll watch these videos and go, no, I'm not doing that myself. And because you are the one that provided me that value in the content, well, all right, there's a button. All right, click it. You're going to do it for me.
100%. Yeah, and when we do our videos, that's where we house everything is on YouTube for the dealership with their own parts and service channel. But then obviously it links into all the relevant content that we're doing, ties everything together. I always say people can do what we do fragmented. You can hire someone to do videos, you can hire someone to build content. There are some service management or specials management software companies out there, but nobody brings it together at the level that we do. And that's why we've grown so much. I mean, we're well over 500 stores now in 3 years.
Wow, man, that's awesome.
Part of it was the vision, I think, but part of it was also just timing. Look, we've had everything hit us, right? COVID, inventory issues, but yet that's every one of those has made another spotlight on the service side. And so since we're kind of the leaders in the space and we've really kind of embraced that role, we get a lot of phone calls and people talk to us all the time. So we feel very blessed, and my team is always here to help, and they're always willing to just roll up their sleeves. And even if it's not something that benefits us or something that's directly correlated to what we do, we'll try to get the answer for them and make it happen. So
well, that's awesome, man. And I love hearing when people want to make that commitment. But the cool thing, it actually comes from some experience, right? I didn't say it, but for an agency just to show up and not know the nuances of the fixed ops side, it's kind of tough. That's when I start seeing the coupon strategy. It's just like, oh, this will work, right? And it's like, no, it's like if you haven't sat down and truly understood the dealership's CP count goals or their hours per RO goals,
100%.
or the fact that they're having some time issues or their absorption rate is not as high as maybe all the other dealerships in the group or something like that. Like as an agency like you, because you guys have that experience, you're able to sit down, listen to these goals and objectives. Okay, let's reverse engineer backwards.
Yeah, and our performance team is based out of Chicago. So my production team's out of Denver. My performance team's out of Chicago. I made the commitment early. I said, you know what? I don't want to train. because we're too new and we're moving too fast that for me to go train performance managers or account reps, it's gonna kill us, because it's gonna have to take those time, and the people that are gonna hurt the worst is my clients, right?
Yes.
So we hired very smart, very experienced performance managers, and they do what you just said every day.
Yeah.
They're in the trenches with the service managers. They're talking about offers. They're talking about what we're seeing from an engagement standpoint, what we're seeing inside their scheduler, like X time.
Yeah.
These are all things that we can kind of bring to the table. And once that service manager, because they're the toughest ones, they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't like digital. That's not my world. Maybe they're intimidated. We make it really easy for them to get involved, and by about the second or third month, we are now like their best vendor, because they're like, okay, I've got to go to. I need to promote something. I just got a new alignment machine and I want to promote it. We put a strategy together to make sure we get that out to people.
See, that's cool. I mean, look, you got to have that open communication with your agency. You have to be able to, the agency's got to be able to help you out and look at the, the X time and say, man, I'm looking at all your Wednesdays, and Wednesdays the count's just not there.
Yeah.
Right? So we're gonna run this campaign, but we're gonna run it at this time, and
100%.
we're gonna do a special Wednesday, right? Or an after-hours things, because we're looking at this between 3 p.m. and like 5 p.m. At just like
an early happy hour special.
Yeah,
things
like
like
an
that.
early happy hour special, right? But you have to be super tight with your agency to be able to execute that kind of stuff. I do want to kind of go back a little bit to the website content stuff, because I actually get super excited about that. Like I love SEO. And there is no easy button for SEO.
No.
It is a field of dreams. It's a build it and they will come scenario, right? But dealerships within their content can not only show their expertise, but also just who they are as people, right? And like I want to connect with like people. So like my Mitsubishi dealership, I had 4 triple diamond master technicians, right? But these guys they stick their hand on a hood. Yep, it's the 3rd cylinder right valve.
They're the experts, right?
They're the experts, but by creating content with them, because they are the experts, people were learning, they were getting educated, and honestly, they were coming to them and referring people to them, right? Like I'm surprised how often I see a dealership not emphasize, all right, the expertise of their staff.
Yeah, content's funny, because obviously Google's always changing what's relevant to them, like how to get your content to rank. Obviously, any iframe scenarios or code injected type scenarios make it a lot tougher for Google. They've come a little bit farther, but we always are an agency, or you look at our content, we're best practices. We just want to do what Google tells us, run the play, run the playbook and just make it work. Now, one thing that we do with all of our content, which I think is really cool, is that we showcase the dealership on it, like amenities, kind of the why service message.
Yeah, well, there should be a why service message.
Getting that out there, that is on all of our content. So we might talk about transmissions or alignments or, windshield wipers, but it all ties into also why should they come to the dealership to get that done? Because that person, again, going back to knowing your customer, that person's shopping you against the Jiffy Lubes. What sets you apart?
Exactly.
If pricing is pretty comparable, we've got to tell customers why it's more important to come to the dealership. We've got the certified technicians, we've got the OEM parts and fluids, we've got the right machinery for these very sophisticated cars. So you don't get that by just showing a coupon or just putting out some very cookie cutter stuff that you get from the OEM or maybe the generic stuff that comes from your website provider. You have to be local. You have to be very very custom in order to make that impact.
I love it. I dig it. So here's my next question then. So what would you say your the top 3 content pages that a dealer can go make right now that you guys have just seen historically just crush it?
Most of the content that we see that does really well is our general service. Oil change, tire rotation, batteries, just some of that stuff that's more of your everyday maintenance. We obviously started really focusing on late ownership services, because that's where the defection happens.
Well, it's also the best client you can ever have.
Well, it's the best customer pay RO. You're not dealing with warranty anymore. We don't get as much of that search though, because because again, that's sort of like after the warranty's up.
Yep.
But that's the stuff that that's the meat and potatoes, right? That's the stuff that's going to make you your money.
100%.
And again, another thing that we've really focused on is.
So would you make like a singular page, or would you kind of like break it down, or like explanation of like what the filter is and why your car actually has to use this type of oil versus others? Like how deep, how granular would you go?
That's how we get really granular.
Okay, cool.
We're doing semi-synthetic, we're doing synthetic, we're doing oil changes. Now what we also do is, how like on the top nav bar, where if you hit the service button, you drop it down.
Yep.
We build out what we call service overview pages. So that same oil change page will then, or that oil change service would get clicked on. It would bring them into an overview page that would then go, okay, here's semi-synthetic, here's synthetic, here's diesel. And if somebody wanted to be like, I want to know more about synthetic, they then would then dig a little deeper into that particular service. So just creating that whole infrastructure.
It brings value around the service.
Yes.
I mean, you're not just looking at it and you're like a service B and it's $349. You're like,
what does that mean to me?
What does that mean? Like, I love it when I go into it next time and I'm like, service B, $349,
Yep.
and it's just got like a list of stuff that most average people aren't even going to know what it is. Right?
Yeah.
When you're able to break down it and show the why it needs to be done and the value of doing it, for your vehicle, that's huge. It's value. Value is all perception.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, if we can build that value before they even get into the dealership, how much easier it is to start adding on even more value while we're in the dealership.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. A lot of times what we find and what dealers are telling us is that they've really increased those RO lines, right?
Yeah.
You only have so much money or time to make money in the service department. If you're open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., you got that many hours to make hay, right?
That's it.
So why not be able to pre-educate on services prior to them getting there? So when they come in for that oil change, you can also say, hey, you also need this, this, and this. They might have already exposed themselves to those services on your website.
Yep.
At least it puts you in the game, right? So
100%.
you make more money on each of those customers while they're there, but it's also good for turndowns. I talk to a lot of service BDCs. They're becoming more popular. Somebody turns down an alignment service, they can create an email, drop our link right into that email, and say, hey, I know you're turning this down today. Here's a little more information on why it's important.
There you
so
go.
Now our service BDCs are getting armed with more data intelligence.
They got more information to work off of it.
And they use it because it's all right there for them. It's not a separate microsite. It's not a, it's not, one size fits all scenarios. It's really specific to that dealership. So.
And you know what? And it's cool for dealerships that do have BDCs like that. I think too often the marketing department just kind of focuses on the fact that they're just working with one department, but multiple departments have to get involved and play nice with this.
100%. Well, and nobody's talking accessories. You go to dealerships, their tire displays are weak. It's like.
Oh my gosh, let's talk about tires for a second. I don't know how it is, where you are, but where I am up in Canada, we have this thing called tire season.
Yes.
And I hate the fact that we call it a season.
Yeah.
Because
it's like one little blip in the calendar, right?
What are you talking about? Like, we'll bring the display out and then we take the display back.
Probably in the fall.
Yeah, and it's like, this is ridiculous.
Well, that's where all the OEMs do tire specials too. It's every fall. Tires are huge for retention. Mm-hmm. Chrysler gave us some data. It was something like 72 or something like 82. Can't remember exactly the percentage, but it was really high. If they buy tires from you, they buy their next car from you.
Oh, for sure.
So, and everybody says it, and everyone goes, "Oh, that's really great," and then they go back, and there's no real focus on selling tires. So, but we make it easy, right? We bring it to them. Hey, Jason, how'd you like to sell some tires? I'd love to sell more tires. Let me show you how you can do it.
Exactly.
Here's a good, better, best. Imagine having a good, better, best scenario for each model. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We say, here's a Toyota Camry. Here's the good tires. Here's the better tires. Here's the best tires for that Toyota Camry. And our dealers love it because they're like, wait a minute, this is giving us.
It makes life so much easier, for sure. Like, I know we could easily jam for like another 40 minutes, hour at least.
Yes.
But I know we're getting towards the tail end of our time.
Okay.
We've touched on some really, really great topics.
Yeah.
And, for anybody out there that's watching and listening and would like to maybe kind of learn more or continue the conversation with you, what's the best way to connect with you?
Definitely on our website, we've got a lot of great contact. content information like fixedopsdigital.com. Most people have my cell number, and that's why my voice is like this, because I'm always talking. My direct line is 605-376-0195, or shoot me an email, owen@fixedopsdigital.com. And I'm always, I always say I'm just a call away. So give me a shout. We'll jam. We'll talk strategy. And then what I'll do is I'll get you in touch with, my sales team. We'll talk with our performance team, and we'll really help you figure out how we can really move your fixed ops department to new heights in 2022. And
awesome.
That's what we're doing out here. We're just launching some new software called Drive Service Specials. I'm speaking tomorrow at one of the breakout sessions. We feel like digital dealers are a great place for us because we get to talk to a lot of digital people, and they're now getting thrown into the online service marketing evolution, as we call it. So,
dude, that's awesome. Hey, Owen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Man. This was a lot.
Pleasure
of fun.
meeting you. This has been great. Glad this is our first jam together.
I know. This is good. I'm sure of many.